there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you with this week's mindfulness meditation practice. We are in the final week of our month focused on being gentle with ourselves. We've gone through it and looked at it in a lot of different ways, and I thought that the way to wrap this up that would feel really, resonant, at least for me and where I'm at right now, is talking a little bit about rest. We have talked about rest, for years, honestly, and there's a variety of ways that we could put a spin on it. And at first, the thing I was thinking about was this idea of like you don't have to earn rest. I recently saw something online that I was like, yeah, that's true, and that's completely valid. Other meditations that I've done in the past, other videos, are kind of like giving yourself permission to rest and deep rest and all of that. So it's all really mixed up as one big collective. But when I thought about what the phrasing might be for this particular week and this practice, the thing that I'm thinking about is building in time to rest. Because again, the whole theme for the month is inspired by this back to school season. And I've talked about so many different things when it comes to not overextending yourself and not getting caught up in the optimism of the new year and all of that sort of thing. And when it comes to being gentle with ourselves, I really do think that one of the best ways to do that is to make space for us to rest. Of course, that most certainly is specific to getting enough sleep at night. But I also feel like, when we think about making space to rest or building in time to rest, it really also is about those little moments throughout the day. And I don't know, obviously everybody's day is different, and it's so easy for the time that's supposedly, our time, planning time, or off time to become endeared by a variety of circumstances. Nonetheless, if it's possible, my invitation to you is to build in a little bit of rest for yourself, at least in these few weeks. And then once you get your sea legs and kind of get into your groove, perhaps it won't need to be as essential. And then lastly, the other thing that just occurred to me that I want to mention too is certainly 5 days a week, there's only so much within your locus of control during the workday, but then also think about allowing your next few weekends to be extra restful and maybe not running around and doing all the things. Just allowing yourself to rest and build up your energy reserves, because of course the work that you do is demanding and challenging and important, and allowing yourself to have that rest, whether it's in the school day, of course at night, and also on the weekends, will help to sustain you and make it more possible for you to keep doing what you do. So let's go ahead and have a very restful meditation. I'm actually going to emphasize that phrase during our sit, because you've heard me say before that meditation, while it does require a bit of effort to bring our attention back again and again to the anchor and to the present, it is a lovely opportunity for deep rest. So let's give ourselves these 10 minutes. And if for some reason you can't do 10, just do 5. Just tap out when you're feeling restless and you decide, that's good, or set a separate timer. You do whatever feels appropriate to you. Okay. Got my timer set for 10 minutes. If you care to, you can close your eyes or lower your gaze. And let's begin with those long, slow, deep breaths. Feels so good. And allowing yourself just to drop into your body, to come out of that floating thought bubble above the head, even below the chin and neck, into your body. It's very grounding, which contributes to this quality of feeling supported, a little more calm, and a little more clear. your options regarding what you choose to rest your attention on. And in the interest of keeping this practice more on the restful side, I encourage you to just choose whatever feels easiest. So if resting your attention on, for example, the body, either in its entirety or just one part, I feel like that's usually pretty easy. If you're noticing there's a lot of sounds around you where you are at the moment, that's also pretty effective for many people. And then, of course, there's the breath and sensations associated with the breath. So just do what feels right. As we know, inevitably the mind will wander away into plans, list making, memory recalling. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with thinking. We need to do all these things all day long as a way to navigate skillfully in our lives. But of course, one of the purposes of our sitting is to give ourselves a rest from following our thoughts. This rest is, of course, nourishing and also helps to allow our physiology to settle and relax somewhat. And the other lovely thing about choosing to turn away from the thoughts when we notice we've gotten pulled into them, and to bring our attention back to this present moment and the anchor, is that it's also strengthening our capacity to be more metacognitive and more in tune with our internal experience. And that allows us to do that very same thing at any point in our lives, which can also be very skillful when we're feeling swept away by thoughts or even emotions. Knowing you can just see it for what it is, and if you care to, you can label it like plan, memory, worry, and know that it'll be waiting for you when you're done, but you don't have to follow it. You can choose to disengage and bring your attention back to the present. So let's sit in silence for a little while, and I'll check in with a few more reminders about rest. where the mind is now. And if it's wandered into thought, just very gently bringing it back. As I said at the outset of this session, while it does require effort to notice we've gotten lost in thought, and some effort to pivot and turn your attention back to resting it on your anchor, you're also giving yourself a very rare and profound gift of taking a break from following your thoughts, as we so often do all day long. Again, not a problem. We need to be able to do that skillfully. But it's also nice to know that it's not obligatory and that you can take this rest. So let's just hold that together for the last 2 or so minutes until the final bell. That's our 10 minutes of restful, hopefully, meditation. And even though that is, of course, our theme and our invitation for this week, the other thing I just want to mention is sometimes a sit isn't restful. Sometimes, your leg is going the whole time, or you feel really tense, or you just can't stop thinking about this thing, whatever it might be. And I want to acknowledge that, that it's not always restful. And also, just to let you know that even if that's your experience during the sit, you will still reap the benefits of strengthening your capacity for mindful awareness and all of the things that are associated with meditation, even though you might not feel any more relaxed than you did when you started. So as always, thank you so much for taking this time for yourself, and thank you for allowing me to accompany you on this journey, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.